It feels like your stomach wants to crawl out of your throat. You've done this before, but this will be the time they see through you. Real GMs aren't afraid to GM, are they? You have stage fright, but that might be useful. Let me explain. They're all going to be looking at you, expecting you to know what's going on, what's going to unfold in the evening, what the adventure will contain. What do the rules say we should do in this situation? What happened 3 sessions ago and suddenly it's all a bit much? How did you think you could do this? Why did you agree to do this? Well, what you're experiencing is stage fright. It's very common, and although it's a fear, it's not a fear to be afraid of. Stage fright is something that all performers, including game masters, get at some extent certain times. It's a perfectly normal and natural reaction to the pressure of being the focus of attention. You want to do a good job, you're worried you won't, that fear becomes overwhelming. When talking about performance with other magicians, they will often make a comment about how they get stage fright and they know that I don't, and then I have to interrupt them and say, well, I do get stage fright as well. I'm on stage roughly weekly in London, and I get nerves. Even now, before I go on, I can be walking out at a rally to address a crowd of thousands. I can be performing in a theatre to a couple of hundred people. I can be GMing a game with 2 players. I still get anxious. And sometimes my nerves get so bad, I think to myself, I can't do this. I am going to cancel the game. But then I work through it, and I'm going to show you how you can work through it too, and how, if you trust the process, you're going to have a great game. A bit of history before we go any further. I appear to be a very confident public speaker, and I've done a lot of public speaking. When I was a teenager, I was going to a speech therapist to cure my stutter. It's still there, it comes back if I'm very tired or stressed. But people are very surprised to learn that I have this problem because they don't hear it, and I come across, when I'm public speaking, as very confident. So what is my advice? Well, I've got some ideas for you, and stay until the end for a way that if you're panicking, that's why you're watching this video, if you're panicking about tonight's adventure, I can help you calm down right now. Not right now, at the end of the video. This is how YouTube works. Let's start with the basics. Having stage fright doesn't mean you're a fake. The best performers, actors, comedians, magicians, game masters get stage fright. What is stage fright? I would say it is your concern for doing a good job allowed to run from caring into conflict. It's conflicting with your ability to do it, but caring about doing a good job is great. We don't want our game mastery to become so everyday and humdrum that it feels like a day at the office. Second thing to know is this: your players are there to have fun, but they want you to have fun as well. You're an important part of the group. You're an important part of your friend circle. Everyone wants everyone to have fun. 3, if there are specific things about the game that make you more stressed, consider delegating them. Maybe appoint a rules lawyer. Maybe pick a game with simpler rules. Find a way to take those stress points down a notch. If one of the players loves writing backstory, give them a little book and write adventure journal on the front for them and have them chronicle what's going on so that you haven't got to keep remembering the name of the blacksmith they met 3 sessions ago. 4, On the day of your game, do your prep. When I've panicked, it's almost always been because I felt I had nothing ready, nothing to go, and I was like, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of what's going to happen. And in that situation, what I do is I trust the process. I sit down somewhere, perhaps not at home, where the chores are shouting at me, "Do the dishes, Zorcus." Instead, I go to the library or a coffee shop, nice blank piece of paper. I take a rule book with me, pencils, a couple of dice, and I will sit down and I will randomly generate stuff. If you're running a game that doesn't have a lot of handy tables, then by all means go ahead and look up some on the internet. But the joy of random generation is this: you're not trying to roll up an entire adventure. What you're doing is you're taking a blank page to a page with one line on it. And that one line is the key to conquering your fear of prep. Once that's written down, you can start to go, well, if we've got this, what does that mean? How does that work? Who will they meet? Who have they met? What's going to happen? Will there be a fight? And that gets you past that, I have nothing prepared. So it's okay to be scared. Maybe do what I do, and that is say, I will schedule my stage fright. I will be scared for 10 minutes at this time, and then I'll do this part of the prep next. And that way I tell myself that being scared is part of the process. I don't know that if I'm not being scared, I'll deliberately get scared, but I tell myself it's okay, and that if being scared is part of the process, it's fine to be scared. I can then get on with it. Other things that I do before a session are I don't drink any coffee or alcohol. I make sure I've had plenty of water so my mouth isn't dry. I put on my robe and wizard hat, I suppose, effectively, by making sure that I am wearing clothes that make me feel like a game master. Wash my face, put on my GMing t-shirt. So in the end, what is stage fright? Stage fright is your brain caring that you're going to do a good job and worrying that you won't. And that's not a bad thing. See if you can compress it down in terms of time and then burn that coal as fuel to power you forwards. It's okay to be afraid, but don't be afraid of being afraid. Before I sign off, I did say I would give you a tip on how to calm yourself, and it's one that I've seen recommended a lot to musicians as well as magicians and other performers, and it's to do with your breathing. And it's this: you breathe in, then you breathe in a bit more, and then you do a long exhale. So like a double jump. It's a double breath. This is what it looks like. That second breath in makes your chest feel tight and tense, and it embodies the tension you're feeling. And then as you exhale, tell yourself that this is the ritual that will calm you down. And I find it works. If it works because of the breathing, or if it works because I'm telling myself it works, I don't know. And I don't care. That's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, do like, subscribe, all the usual things. But please also let me know in the comments how you deal with stage fright, what it is you're so scared about, and let me see if I can help you with that.